Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news today, folks. We have some really intriguing developments coming out of Berea, and if you're a Browns fan, you know how tight things are in the AFC North this season. The Browns, always a team that's been on the cusp of something special, are now facing some strategic shifts that could have long-term implications. And it all centers around their quarterback situation, which has been a topic of discussion for quite some time now. We saw the Cleveland Browns make a move on Tuesday morning that caught some by surprise, trading veteran quarterback Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, this might seem like a straightforward transaction on the surface, but when you dig deeper, it reveals a lot about what the Browns are really thinking about their roster, and more importantly, their future at the quarterback position. Joe Flacco, who at 40 years old has been a veteran presence on the Browns roster, was no longer in Cleveland's plans. So, what does that leave them with? Well, the immediate question was, who's going to step into that backup role, especially with the season still in full swing? This is where the story gets interesting because, while many expected that the Browns might promote Shedeur Sanders directly to the second-string quarterback spot, that's not exactly how things are playing out right now. According to Browns insider Brad Stainbrook, after the trade, Sanders is now considered Cleveland's QB2 behind fellow rookie Dillon Gabriel. That's right, Shedeur Sanders, the young quarterback out of Colorado, who many fans and analysts have been watching closely, is now officially the backup in Cleveland. Stainbrook took to social media on X, formerly Twitter, and confirmed that Sanders was the new backup. That news naturally sent ripples through the fanbase. Everyone was wondering, is Shedeur really going to get his shot now, or are they just keeping him as a backup for the time being? But as is often the case in the NFL, things are rarely that straightforward. Other sources around the team have been more cautious in their assessments, suggesting that Sanders' position isn't entirely settled just yet. The key variable here is the presence of Bailey Zappe, the fourth-year quarterback, who is currently on the Browns' practice squad. Zappe, a fourth-round pick from the 2022 NFL Draft, has been around the league for a couple of seasons now, and he's seen as a versatile backup with some NFL experience. 15 games played, with 9 starts and a record of 4-5. He's amassed over 200 passing yards with 12 touchdowns and 14 interceptions, which shows he's got a decent arm and some potential, but also room for growth. What makes this situation even more interesting is the fact that the Browns are likely to promote Zappe from the practice squad to the active roster, potentially as the QB2, at least for now. According to reports from NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, the rationale behind this move is rooted in Cleveland's desire to keep Shedeur Sanders in a development role, at least temporarily. The Browns see Sanders as a future asset, someone they want to nurture carefully. If Sanders were to be promoted to the active roster and be thrown into action immediately, there's a risk, especially given that he's still a rookie, of putting him in a situation where he's not fully prepared, both mentally and in terms of game plan. Rappaport explained that the Browns want Sanders to succeed, to have a full week of practice, and a game plan tailored for his strengths before they throw him into the fire. This approach makes a lot of sense when you think about it. The Browns aren't just trying to get through this season. They are building a quarterback pipeline, and they want Sanders to thrive when he finally gets his chance to start, or at least play significant snaps. It's about patience, development, and strategic planning. The team is aware that rushing Sanders into action without enough preparation could backfire, especially given the high expectations many fans have placed on him after his impressive college career. So, for now, Zappe might be the backup, covering the emergency needs, while Sanders stays on the sideline, learning, observing, and preparing for his moment. Now, this whole situation also signals something about the Browns' overall strategy and their confidence in Dillon Gabriel. Gabriel, the starting quarterback, has been doing pretty well this season, showing flashes of leadership and command of the offense. But as we all know, injuries and unforeseen circumstances are part of the game. Cleveland is making sure they have options, multiple layers of backup, so that if Gabriel goes down, they're not caught off guard. The idea is to keep their options open, develop their young players, and be ready for the playoff push. And that's where Shedeur Sanders comes into play, when he's ready, when the team and coaching staff feel he's prepared to handle NFL defenses and the pressure of a close game. It's also worth noting that in the NFL, especially in a division as competitive as the AFC North, every move counts. The Bengals, with Joe Burrow returning from injury, are trying to reclaim their dominance. The Ravens, always tough and physical, are looking to secure their spot at the top. And the Steelers, with their solid defense and experienced quarterback, remain a threat. For Cleveland, the goal isn't just to compete but to establish themselves as serious contenders. The way they handle this quarterback situation, with patience and strategic planning, could define their season and even their long-term future. Looking at the big picture, the Browns have built a roster with a lot of talent and potential. Their defense has been solid, their running game is among the best in the league, and their coaching staff has been focused on creating a balanced, disciplined team. But as always, the quarterback position remains the most critical factor in their success. If Dillon Gabriel can continue to perform well, and if Sanders can develop at the right pace, Cleveland could be a real dark horse in the AFC. And don't forget, the team has a history of patience with young quarterbacks. Remember how they managed Baker Mayfield's development, or how they handled Deshaun Watson's integration. It's all about timing and confidence. So, what can we expect moving forward? Well, most signs point to Sanders remaining on the sidelines, learning and growing, while Zapp potentially steps in if needed. But don't be surprised if, later this season, we see Sanders take the field, especially if he's had a full week of practice and the coaching staff feels he's ready. The Browns know they have a gem in Sanders, a player with a high ceiling, and they're going to do everything they can to develop him properly. It's a delicate balance, giving him enough reps to stay sharp, but not rushing him into a situation he's not ready for. And that's the smart approach, in my opinion. In the end, this move might seem minor on the surface, but it speaks volumes about the Browns' long-term vision. They're building something here, and it's clear they're betting on their young talent. The AFC North is fierce, and every game matters. Cleveland is positioning itself not just for a playoff run, but for sustained success. The fans, of course, are eager to see Sanders get his shot when the time is right. And when that moment comes, you can bet it will be a defining chapter in this season's story. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this quarterback situation? Do you believe Sanders is ready to step in when the time comes, or do you think Zapp should be the next man up for now? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Browns. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. We're in this together, and the best is yet to come. Thanks for sticking around, and as always, go Browns.